Hello everyone and welcome to our Age Reversal series. I'm your host Yana Darili and we have a wonderful guest with us here today. We're going to share some fascinating information about the latest scientific methods used in tackling chronic illnesses and aging well. According to the NIH, at the beginning of the 20th century, only 10 out of 100 people suffered from chronic illnesses. Today, that number has changed drastically, and chronic diseases make up over 90% of all health problems worldwide. Our next guest here today has dedicated over 40 years of his life to scientific research in order to help people globally reverse chronic illnesses and aging. He has achieved health and wellness along with reversing aging with groundbreaking work at his clinic. Let's welcome scientist, author, visionary, and anti-aging expert, Professor Dr. Michael Chan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Mike Chan, it is an honor to have you here today. I'm sure all our guests that are watching are very excited to hear about all the wonderful things and information you're going to share with us about aging well and helping reverse chronic illnesses and preventing illnesses. I'm just going to give you a little bit of information about this wonderful gentleman sitting next to me. He is an innovator, a researcher, developer, and founder of over 40 European wellness regenerative hospitals and clinics worldwide. He is an author and co-author of over 40 books and over 70 scientific research publications. He is a public speaker, a professor, a consultant, a manufacturer, and the list goes on and on. He's just unstoppable. He is a modern day Superman of the health industry. Dr. Chan, you've done so many things, and I can speak to you all day. I'm very excited to run through a lot of different things that you've done with your scientific groundbreaking work. However, I would really like to know, what is your driving force? What is it that drives you to keep just expanding and excelling in the scientific industry?
Now, my dedication was in a way inspired by my dad, who died very young due to complication of diabetes at the age of 56. And someone else who is very close to me, my father-in-law, who treated me much better than my own dad. That means he must be very close with me. And surprisingly, he was a kind of a very healthy man, you know. He don't take food outside, he keep his body. And when he was 72, I always say I was in my early 20s, I say, how can a 72-year-old guy look so much more handsome and more fitter than me, you know? And all of a sudden, he has end-stage kidney failure due to his rise of drugs, hypertension, you know, and he was taking the drugs for almost 30 over years, and he had end-stage kidney failure. That 1 year he suffered in the hospital, in and out of hospital, changed my total concept of life. I was a smoker at that time. I do drink as a yuppie, you know, with friends. And the day he died, I made a pledge to myself, I will never drink and smoke until today. And that was many years, you know.
But you took you took the path. Your career path is in medicine, or is it in biology and science?
In biology, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your background, your journey through your career path. In other words, where were you born, your influences, and your path into.
Now, as a child, you know, science is always my favorite subject, you know, and I'm always curious with science. And I'm always a problem maker in class because I always sit in front of the classroom and I always ask the teacher a lot of questions. So in the later part with all the professors and college days, I'm always serious for the work and I like to ask and ask and ask, you know. So I like it so much that I always think that there's so much things to explore with the science, you know. And I just love what I'm doing very much because one of the main things is to make everyone healthy. Healthy means they'll be happier. So my job is to extend quality life into longevity and not just years to a life. And to do that, you must expand the lifespan and not just the health span or the lifespan. You know.
And how did you conceive European Wellness? I mean, you have over 40 clinics around the world. Tell us about that project. What was the first one and what is the concept behind European Wellness?
Now, I sincerely think when my dad and my father-in-law were suffering in the hospital, you know, I have learned a lot from the Swedes and the Germans, and also with the Soviets in the early days of regenerative medicine. And stem cells were part of it in the early 80s. So when my parents were sick at that time, you know, I posed the question of a person who is suffering with complication of diabetes, which will also affect the kidney and other organs. Why can't the organs be regenerated at that time? And at that time, I was exposed to a conventional doctor's method, and everyone says, sorry, the heart is difficult to regenerate, and the same goes for the kidney. And I was doing a lot of research on all this. I was saying that what I have learned in Europe is that certain organs can be regenerated if you can repair the dying tissues and cells of those organs. But that questions at that time was not answered at the hospitals. So after the death of the parents, the two good parents of mine, the two fathers, my wife and I decided to go back to Europe and expand in a very further way of learning more about what everything is in the field of biological and regenerative medicine. And with regenerative medicines, that includes the science of stem cells. You know, and organotherapy is actually an evolution in that way, in the sense that I always believe the body has 78 organs, and every organ has the stem cells and cells. We are born with 37.2 trillions of life cells in the body. When you're born, you have one stem cells over 10,000 life cells. But by the age of 60, you only have 5% level of stem cells. If you don't have stem cells, all of us will not be alive again. But imagine at 60 you only have 5% of stem cells left. Again, the immune system, you're all programmed to die. The immune system will go down tremendously when the T cells or the immune cells produced by the thymus gland, born bigger than your heart when you're born, are gone too. So can you imagine? In other words, if you don't have a strong immune system, you'll be prone to infections, and the same things get the cancer cells, which are found even when you're a child, will be stronger, because there's nothing to compress them or suppress them. So I sincerely think to be healthy, you must have a very strong immune system, you must have very healthy organs, you must be as young as your brain and the 77 other organs in your body.
So your extensive work has been predominantly in neuropeptides and in stem cell regeneration, correct?
In a way, yes. Stem cells is very much a part of my life. I will live and die along with it. Technologies is constantly changing. So is education, so is awareness, so is science, and so are viruses and diseases. So the only way to keep ahead is just like a cell phone. It will keep on changing. The new cell phone is because technology is coming in. So in science, we have to do the same. The same thing will go for medicine.
And what are some of the breakthroughs that you've been doing through this type of research that has been accepted globally? Stem cells has been a controversial topic. However, research is showing otherwise.
Now, I would say when in the early 80s, when we talk about stem cells, no one really even understand about stem cells. Even in A4M, one of the top anti-aging body in USA and to the world with around 30,000 physicians, you know, when we introduced the stem cells in 2010, and we also spoke about the exosome, the excretion of the stem cells, it was very raw, even in Las Vegas in the USA, you know. So I come to say that the only way to expand is to share education, share the information, and we have to go and learn from each other. We even have to learn from the patients who we are treating. Because everyone will say, hey, have you treated MS, have you treated multiple sclerosis, or you have this disease which is autoimmune. So everyone sometimes say, oh, with the autoimmune we go with the stem cell, with cancer we go with the stem cell. Sometimes it's not true. In fact, if you were to use stem cells for cancer patient, it will even stimulate the cancer cells. I will not encourage that. I will move to the next level that you have to use immunotherapy. You know, super boost immune system. If you have a strong immune system, you can suppress the cancer cells. So again, stem cells is controversial in many parts of the world. And to many of the people, they will say, stem cell is the future of medicine. I always say stem cell is not the future of medicine. It's the future, and in fact, it's the present. Because today there's a lot of unconventional method, you know, and there's a lot of methods where conventional medical treatments has no solution. Autoimmune is one of them. There's also many other disorders, neurodevelopmental diseases, neurodegenerative diseases. We all know after 40, 10,000 of the neurons are gone in your brain every day. So we are losing memory every day. So how are you going to be smarter as you age? I would say you have more wisdom, but you may not be smarter with the loss of the stem cells. And all the organs are shrinking except the heart. And for the male, you have the prostate. So our direction will be in such a way that you have to do regenerations all the time.
So you have to be a candidate for stem cells. Of course, you're also, I just want to mention, he's the associate professor of the American Association of Stem Cell Research in the United States. The United States is extensively studying stem cells at this moment, but it's been going on in Europe. You are a global leader in cellular regeneration. I just want to close off on this topic of stem cells and NOPs that you're working on. Who is a candidate? And what are the benefits?
What is NOP? NOP stands for nano-organopeptides. The word is nano, so it's very small size, nano size. The skin pore is 50 to 75 nanometers. The tongue, the lining of the tongue, the mucosa of the tongue is 50 to 75 nanometers. Imagine the world's smallest wire is 27 nanometers. And many years ago, 20 years ago, we created the first nano size technology where we change the daltons to 10 kilodaltons and below. That means it's sterile for the injectable to turn into oral, sublingual, I would say, because we have to face resistance from different parts of FDA of different countries. One of the ways is if you can turn an injectable into a sublingual and it can go straight into the bloodstream, that means the effect is just like injecting. And that was for that reason we created nano. So nano-organopeptides are actually nano-sized stem cell peptides. And imagine in the human body has 78 organs. That means to say you have 700 over different types of cells in the body. So imagine if you have the stem cells, you have the cells, and you have the peptides of the cells. So these are organopeptides. Now organopeptides are better than synthetic peptides because they come naturally. That means these are extracted without chemicals, without preservatives, and of course they have to be refrigerated in a way. We have won a number of numerous awards in Switzerland for invention award with this, and we have also won it in the Middle East, And through our experience, we have done a lot of publication. We have done almost 80 publications in these fields of stem cells and nano-organopeptides. When we first introduced to the world, it was the only one in the world. There's a lot of firsts where we have done it. Now it's purely for research, and then it went into commercialization in the later part. And we have been doing a lot of great science with all this. It's been working very well. Imagine, we are talking about precision medicine in stem cell research here, okay? And stem cell is part of regenerative medicine. If I have to treat a person with an eye disorder, you probably have to give the retinal, optic nerve, and occipital lobe, It will be much better to give this type of cells or peptides than to give one cells to do some stimulation. I understand in the stem cell world, we talk about tissue cells, mesenchymal cells, which are multipotent and tissue cells. They are for stimulation. The word is for tissue. Now we are talking about organ disorder with impairment. Obviously, you need a regeneration of the organ too,
But not all organs do regenerate, correct?
Yes, all kinds of organ by giving the right specific organ. That means to say you must have the same amino acid, the same molecules. So if I have to treat the liver has 75 different types of cells in the liver. The liver is a dustbin, so it is a filter, but it's also a dustbin. All the cells will surface in the liver add up to 75. The only cells in the liver which can do the regeneration is a hepatocyte. So imagine if I were to give the hepatocyte to treat liver patient, and imagine if I were to give the cardiomyoblast to treat heart patient. And imagine,
pancreatitis, and the list goes on.
Yes, so we go with the principle of similia similibus curantur, like treats like. And this belief has been in the Igbo papyrus 4,000 years ago, and in the Chinese medical library for 3,500 years ago. The Japanese, the Koreans, even the Indians, and it's not just the Western world or certain part, the Soviets or the Swiss believe in all this. So there is a lot of relevance in all this, okay? You need the same amino acids and the proteins.
So you are doing groundbreaking work. More to come on this, and I'm sure your publications are just going to be expanding, and you're going to be doing a lot more research, and it will be accepted, and it will be a new way, as you just said, precision medicine. You are
precision in regenerative
medicine, and you've kind of coined the bioregenerative medicine phrase. So let's go back to that. So you have taken all of your research, all of your knowledge, all of your education throughout your life, from all of the places that you've been to. You've been in Switzerland, you've been in Germany, the United States, and Eastern medicine. All of this is translated into European wellness clinics. So tell us a little bit about that concept and the Eastern medical approach to holistic and healing?
I sincerely think even in a country like Germany, Germans are good for technologies, and definers. And when I was in the East, I spent 30 over years of my life in Europe, predominantly Germany and Switzerland. And I come to realize there's a lot of relevance of what the German has been doing with meridian science, and they have the same meridian points.
The Germans are doing work with meridian science.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes, that means to say traditional Chinese medicine were using the long acupuncture needles. The Germans are using acupressure point, and very fine needles to inject into the extracellular matrix, of the area of the meridian point. And I come to realize the result may even be better. Okay, so I always think if you give the right protocol, the right type of stem cells or the cells or the peptides for that particular impaired organs, it will work better. So when we talk about Parkinson, Parkinson means you need the substantia nigra because you're relying on the dopamine releasing. And here you don't have release of dopamine. So if you are to think of relying on the drug for the symptoms alone, you are only treating the symptoms. What we want is we have to solve it at the root problem, and this is what biological medicine is all about. And in German sense, biological medicine is common sense medicine. And because stem cell is part of regenerative, I coined the word bioregenerative sciences.
It's wonderful. It's doing a lot of great things for neurological disorders, I see. And this concept and all of this wonderful information is within the clinic that you're helping cure people, not only from chronic illnesses, preventive medicine, also children who are suffering from all of the mental disabilities that are going on and are very predominant in our world today, such as autism, Asperger's, and the list goes on. And congratulations on your work. You and your wife, who I just want to mention is a 4-time PhD.
She had four PhDs.
She has 4 PhDs, and you're doing wonderful work together. Your wonderful work through European Wellness Clinics has expanded worldwide. You have over 40 clinics, and of course you've created some wonderful partnerships. And one of your partnerships is a great partnership. 2 powerhouses have joined forces in Greece. You've invested in Greece with one of the founding fathers of European Society of Preventive, Regenerative and Anti-Aging Medicine, Dr. Michalis Papacharalambos. He's also the scientific director of Orthoviotiki Medical Center. Can you tell us a little bit about what this means for the future of Orthoviotiki?
I believe there's a lot of things we can go in. When I first came here in 2019, introduced to this great man, I heard of his great name all the time. He was called Michael Papas to me, and to cut short his name.
He's a great man.
And the first visit, I visit this clinic from abroad, from outside, And I come to realize this is a nice building with a good feng shui. I believe very much in feng shui. And when I was told that this clinic is for sale, I took it up on the same day, without much hesitation. I've been doing it a lot in many clinics of the world. I once acquired a hospital also overnight, and that was the Paracelsus Clinic Duschmiller in Switzerland many years ago. I sincerely think this clinic has all the foundation, good structure and design. It's just that they're more on the diagnostic side, and I'm good with the regenerative side, with the wellness side. They find the disorders, and our job is to find the remedy, and so we are adding the wellness into the diagnostic side.
A powerhouse. Okay. Now you've made it 360. It's a whole wonderful clinic that offers the 360 approach, and through that relationship, you expanded out to another new project. You conceptualized along with another pioneer here in Greece, a leading renowned Greek plastic surgeon, Dr. Thanasis Athanasiou from the Athens Beverly Hills Plastic Surgery Group. And you have created an innovative new concept called Zoe Bioregenerative Wellness Clinics.
Yes, and the first time I was introduced to this man, I kind of think that this man is something like a Mike Chan, except that he's a younger Mike Chan. So we have more zest than me in the sense, I'm 62 now. That was a few years ago. I heard of him. He has, I was told they have a big share in the market, of 85% share in the plastic and aesthetic group. I love to work with great people and positive people.
He's very
I never
positive.
believe in negative stuff.
He's a visionary like yourself.
Yes.
He has
and we are all dreamers.
And dreamers
Yes.
are what make manifest things,
Yes.
correct? So
I dream all the time, and so far in my life, God was very kind to me. Whatever I have dreamt of, all came true. So when I taught and worked with Thanasius, that he was saying, "Oh, let's go to Santorini." So both of us went to Santorini, you know, and we thought of idea, why don't we set up a center here? And immediately now, I mean, almost 2 years ago, and it's already now, the center is up already. And we want to make this into a premier, top, great, world-class center. If you are in a great place, you must have a top-class center. That means we not just want the best clinician around, we want the best scientists around, we want the lab, the best staff around, and we want to provide the best protocols to make happy people.
And
yes.
we want to mention to our viewers that this center, this clinic rather, was created in a very special place. It is the special place on the island of Santorini in Greece, of course. And it has a vast history, and it is an island that has great energy, because you like feng shui, and it is a concept that is not like none other. So let's talk about a little bit about this concept and what it is that gives it the cutting edge.
Imagine we are masters in anti-aging, age reversal, and you meet another master who is good with the beauty side and making people happy with a wonderful face and the body. So we have both. You regenerate from the inside, and then you also need the outside. So I will do the inside, and my great partner will do the outside. So that will be a good partnership in a way. And both of us are always, I will always believe, we will always be the Lamborghini or the Ferrari or Bugatti or the Rolls Royce. So we can deliver the Rolls Royce service. Okay, in terms of the results, I'm a very result-oriented guy. I only believe to do something which I can bring some results or improvements. Otherwise, we would rather not treat the patient. We don't want to run in a situation of unhappy patients. The only way to sustain business successfully is through my own philosophy of life, that you must make happy patients. And that is all the result have to work in a great way, you know.
You've traveled around the world, you've seen many people in different countries. Can you tell us the state of health of people around the world today? What do you think needs more attention?
I always say you only have one precious thing in life. You can have all the millions or billions in the world, but you only have one life. What has passed yesterday will never come back. So we have to cherish life every day. Just like a cancer patient cherishing his life every day. One extra day live is a gain every day. You know, I've been treating a lot of people who are having hopes. My job is to turn the hopes into reality. We have terminal patients for left to die, sent home, and we extend the quality life still on people who are meant to die earlier. If someone was meant to die earlier for 3 years and they went on to live for 5 years, there's a lot of good things you have done for them. Okay. Again, I would not say there are miracles. There are miracles in life, miracles in the stem cells or in the youth anti-aging bioregenerative methods of us. But again, it works differently for different patients. Okay, everyone has a different attitude in life. So most important thing is that we have to understand carefully, and we need good clinicians to move with this. This is important. I dedicate my whole life to 3 idols. As a young child from humble beginning, born on the riverside, you know, where when it rains, I will remember the song, "Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head," because the roof had a leakage, you know, and the raindrops will fall into, the water will fall into my head. I always think that the only way to move up is education when you don't have money in the world. So this is how my life was brought up to me, and the only thing I can come up is to make happiness. To make happiness means you must deliver the results. And along the way, I think you have to be very innovative in life. So I met Karl Lagerfeld in the 80s. You know, I came to realize and learn about this man. He's innovative in a lot of ways. So I tell myself, you must be very innovative. If everyone has to go into a ballroom or with a black coat, you must have a black coat with something different. So you can see the difference, that you must be different, because otherwise you're no different from the rest. There's so many great doctors, so many scientists of the world, but you can create something of difference, then it's different. Okay, that's how people look at us. We have to deliver the good job. Now again, along with life, you know, you see patients in and out. Some of them die along the way, their emotions with loved ones. I always think we must treat all the patients with a good heart, and treat them with a good heart means I learned from Mother Teresa. He has done so much in life. So whatever I do, I will always believe in a good conscience, and I remember what she have done for the people of India. So this is very much in my philosophy, the three idols. Bruce Lee is because of his confidence. You know, as a child, I can't afford his movie. I can only watch his movie, which I could have watched as a child, but only watch his movie when I was 13 years old. And look at the confidence of this man when he was doing his talking about kung fu and things like this. So on my side, I tell myself, you must be very confident in life, and for that you must have very strong knowledge in what you're doing. I only believe in what I do, my forte. I will not invest in any other business which is beyond my forte. That's me. So I'm totally on the health side, totally on the wellness, totally on a job to make happy people, younger, healthier, fitter, sharper.
You're doing that with Zoe Bioregenerative Clinics, and you are doing that with all the other work that you're doing. Tell me, as a bioregenerative expert, an anti-aging expert, what kind of information or what message or what protocols can we offer people for aging well?
Now, there's still a lifestyle to be followed. I always say you are what you are. You're also what you drink and what you eat too. Is it the impression on all of us? Everyone has a different likings in everything, you know.
Dr. Chan, you're also a very big philanthropist. You and your wife do wonderful things through your philanthropic work. What are some of the issues that you would like to...
I've done so much for the last 30 over years. I will buy land and build structure for stray dogs and cats. I have donated to a Born Free Foundation for the last 30 over years. I only know every year I receive lots of t-shirts, and I send it to all the doctors of the world, and that was for all the donation I give. I always believe charity must come with a heart. So that means to say you don't put your name into the charity you donate. So whatever I've done for the churches, for the school, or to me, religions, I respect all faiths. I always believe gods may come in different shape to different people or different form. So I sincerely think kindness is important. Kindness means you must also be kind with words. It's not only with action. Some of us, sometimes we may be tough with people. I will respect everyone. It doesn't matter in respect of his status. I always say thank you to my staff or even a driver of mine if he done something good. So to me, it doesn't matter they are kings or royals or VIPs or whatever, you know. Everyone, or even a lower rank, they must be respected at all goes. Yeah, that is important.
Dr. Michael Chan, making groundbreaking milestones in aging well, bioregenerative medicine, and a very big philanthropist. He gives back, and he's offering wonderful, wonderful centers that promise reversal of chronic illnesses and helping age well. Thank you so much for being with us. Congratulations on Zoe Clinics in Santorini, Greece. We're very excited of all the great things to come.
Thank you. And just to add it here, you know, I've been treating a lot of children of the world. One of my vision is to set up a foundation to help all the children here. Sometimes I don't like to use the word children of a lesser God. I've done thousands and treated thousands of Down syndrome children or autistic children across the world. I sincerely think we have to do something for all these poor children. Giving the money to maintain them is nothing. You have to improve on their IQ. Imagine a global development delayed child with a low IQ. What happens when the guardian is gone or the parents is gone? So I do not wish to make any money from all these children. Throughout my career of almost 40 years with my wife, my companies have made multi-millions in US dollars. I have yet to declare a single dividend for myself as the owner with my wife. Everything is, I only receive a basic salary like any of my staff. I have thousands of staff over the world. And I sincerely think we have to do more in this world. We have to give. To give is better than to take. I always say that. I always believe in that. And I must make very happy people. And I like to do it all for all the poor children of the world. Thank you.
Dr. Chan, thank you so much for all that you do, for your wonderful work in helping humanity.
Thank you.